This week, I'm finally back in Akihabara after being out in Kyoto last week. For those of you who are wondering what happened last week, you can check out that video when it finally comes out in a few months from now. That's it, because of the fact that it was also 2 weeks, a lot of things have changed. For one thing, the posters outside of Archway have been replaced with new ones for Yuri, a series that I have not heard anything of for a very long time. To the extent that it actually hit me a little hard how different the art for the original manga looked from the anime. So yeah, it was actually really refreshing to see the art. I feel like the series has progressed so much that there are just so many characters in it I don't recognize anymore. Aside from that, I also passed by the old Sega arcade that became the Gego that eventually closed down. It seems like there's a new store starting up there that's also going to be running an arcade called Silk Hat. It seems that they're not tearing down the building, so hopefully I guess the building ends up being up to par and or end up being a fresh new arcade with something interesting this time around and not like Flappy Bird's arcade or something cursed like that. Speaking of mangas that actually look very different from the anime though, I actually went up to the Gamers as well to look at a new pop-up store, and there was actually one for Real Kill Boo after all this time. That was another series where the art itself for the original novel is just so different because of the fact that it was done by a fairly popular doujin artist. I don't know how many people actually know like Tenkle. Like they actually used to be extremely popular for this very iconic style of art. So it was actually really cool to see the art for the light novels pop-up store there. Aside from that, there was also a pop-up store going on for a collab between the Bunny Garden as well as Magical Nut Iconos, which ties in very well considering it's November and people like to talk about nuts now, it would seem. Yeah, needless to say, both of the games kind of swing in that very, let's just say very fan servicey direction, I guess. So it was certainly a interesting thing to see that they were actually having a pop-up store collab for the two series at once. I know both aren't like super big, but they do fall into that very same direction, so it was actually kind of cool to see a pop-up collab store for once. Aside from that, there was also one for Halloween for High School Fleet, which is another series that I would not have thought I would have seen like in this day and age. I really wish they would make a new anime for it or something, but I get the feeling that won't be happening for quite a while to come at the very least. And lastly, I also dropped by the Nikkei crepe collab that was going on at the Taito under the train station in Akihabara. At the expense of potentially sounding like a child, I actually did enjoy the crepe quite a lot. It actually had like sprinkles on it, and I really like the sprinkles, which I don't think I've had sprinkles in almost like maybe 5-6 years at this point, so that was actually kind of nice. By the way, this is the postcard you get for buying a crepe there. You do get a ticket as well, which for the ticket, if you manage to accumulate enough of it, you can exchange it for something else, kind of like the Blue Archive one before. Unfortunately, I don't think I'm gonna be able to eat enough crepes to be able to exchange this for something, and I feel like if the Blue Archive one is anything to go by, it's probably gonna run out of stock so quickly that I'm not gonna have a chance to do it anyway. So oh well, that's it. That's all for me for today. I'll be seeing you guys next week. I don't know if it'll be Akihabara or somewhere else, but until then, I'll be seeing you next time on